After 40 years of gardening, I've learned one simple truth. The right border plants can transform an ordinary garden into something spectacular. Today I'm sharing 10 stunning border plants that you can plant right now in late August, and I'll teach you exactly how to plant and care for each one so they'll thrive for years to come. These aren't just pretty plants, they're your garden's best investment. Late August is actually the perfect time for border planting. The soil is still warm enough for roots to establish, but the brutal summer heat is starting to ease. This gives your plants 6 to 8 weeks to settle in before winter arrives. Before we dive into our plant list, let me share the 3 keys to successful border planting: proper soil preparation, correct spacing, and consistent watering during establishment. Master these basics, and your border will reward you with years of beauty. Plant 1. Ornamental kale and cabbage. Let's start with ornamental kale and cabbage, our cool weather champions that get more beautiful as temperatures drop. The secret is choosing plants that are still mostly green. The color develops with cold nights. Plant them in rich, well-draining soil with plenty of organic matter. Space them 12 inches apart in full sun to partial shade. Water them thoroughly after planting and maintain consistent moisture. These are thirsty plants while establishing. Feed them with a balanced fertilizer every 3 weeks. As temperatures dip into the 40s at night, you'll see those gorgeous purples, pinks, and whites intensify dramatically. They'll last until hard frost, usually giving you 8 to 10 weeks of spectacular color. Remove them after they freeze. They're annuals and won't return. Plant 2. Pansies and violas. Cool weather annuals like pansies and violas are perfect for late August planting, providing color through fall and often surviving mild winters. Plant in rich, moist soil with good drainage. They prefer full sun to partial shade and consistent moisture. Space them 6 to 8 inches apart for quick coverage. Water regularly and feed with liquid fertilizer every 2 weeks. The secret to long-lasting blooms is deadheading. Remove spent flowers daily to encourage continuous blooming. These hardy annuals often survive winter in zone 6 and warmer, blooming again in early spring before hot weather arrives. In colder zones, enjoy them until hard frost, then replant in spring. Plant 3. Autumn Joy Sedum. Autumn Joy Sedum, the most foolproof border plant you'll ever grow. Right now, you'll see these at the nursery with flat green flower heads that will transform into stunning pink, then deep burgundy blooms over the next month. Here's how to plant them. Dig a hole twice as wide as the root ball but only as deep. Sedum hates wet feet, so if you have clay soil, add coarse sand or perlite to improve drainage. Space them 18 inches apart. They'll fill in naturally. After planting, water deeply once, then let nature take over. Sedum is drought tolerant once established, which usually takes about 4 weeks. In spring, cut the old stems down to 2 inches. New growth will emerge from the base. The beauty of sedum is its 3-season interest: succulent foliage in spring, gorgeous flowers in fall, and architectural seed heads that look stunning covered with frost in winter. Plant 4. Purple asters. Native asters are blooming right now, making them perfect for instant gratification planting. New England asters and aromatic asters are the stars of the fall garden. Plant asters in full sun to light shade. They're not picky about soil, but they do appreciate good drainage. Dig your hole the same depth as the nursery pot. Never plant asters too deep or they'll struggle. Water them in well and keep them consistently moist for the first 3 weeks. After that, they're quite drought tolerant. These perennials will spread naturally, so give them room to grow. Here's a pro tip: after they finish blooming in October, cut them back to 6 inches. This prevents them from self-seeding too aggressively, while still providing winter habitat for beneficial insects. Plant 5. Hardy chrysanthemum. Skip the grocery store mums and invest in hardy garden varieties that will return year after year. The key is choosing true perennial mums, not the decorative annuals. Plant them in well-draining soil, enriched with compost. Mums need excellent drainage to survive winter, so avoid low spots where water might collect. Space them according to their mature size, usually 18 to 24 inches apart. Here's the critical step: immediately after planting, cut them back by 1/3. I know it seems harsh, but this encourages bushier growth and more blooms. Water them deeply twice a week for the first month. In spring, New growth will emerge from the base. Pinch the tips monthly through July to keep them compact, then stop pinching to allow fall blooms to develop. Divide them every 3 years in early spring to maintain vigor. Plant 6 fountain grass. Purple fountain grass adds incredible texture and movement to borders. Choose nursery plants that already show good root development. Avoid anything pot-bound. These grasses prefer full sun and well-draining soil. Plant them at the same depth they were growing in the container, and space them 2 to 3 feet apart. They'll get quite full. Water regularly for the first 6 weeks, then reduce to deep weekly watering. Fountain grass is surprisingly drought-tolerant once established. In late fall, after the first hard frost, cut the grass back to 6 inches. Apply a thick layer of mulch around the base in colder zones. The grass will emerge from the crown each spring, growing quickly to full size by midsummer. Plant 7, Japanese painted fern. For shade borders, Japanese painted fern is unbeatable, with its silvery green fronds and purple stems. These perennials prefer consistent moisture and rich organic soil. Plant them in partial to full shade. Morning sun is fine, but avoid hot afternoon sun. Space them 15 inches apart, and plant at the same depth as the nursery pot. Keep the soil consistently moist but not waterlogged. Mulch around the plants to retain moisture and suppress weeds. These ferns go dormant in winter, so don't panic when they disappear. In early spring, remove any old fronds before new growth emerges. Divide clumps every 4 to 5 years in early spring if they outgrow their space. Plant 8 heuchera, coral bells. Heuchera provides year-round foliage color in shades from lime green to deep burgundy. Choose varieties suited to your climate zone for best performance. Plant in well-draining soil, amended with compost. While they tolerate various light conditions, most colorful varieties prefer morning sun with afternoon shade. Space them 12 inches apart. Water consistently for the first month, then reduce to weekly deep watering. Heuchera crowns tend to rise over time, so check annually and add soil around exposed roots. Remove flower spikes after blooming to keep energy focused on the foliage. In late winter, remove any damaged leaves. Divide every 3 to 4 years to maintain vigor. The plants will tell you when they're ready by developing woody centers. Plant 9, Ajuga boogle weed. Ajuga makes an excellent evergreen ground cover for border edges. Choose bronze or burgundy varieties for the most striking foliage color. Plant in partial shade to full shade. Too much sun can scorch the leaves. Space them 8 inches apart in well-draining soil. They spread by runners, so give them room to naturalize. Water regularly until established, about 4 to 6 weeks. After that, they're quite drought-tolerant. In spring you'll be rewarded with spikes of blue flowers. Ajuga can be aggressive, so plant it where you want it to spread or install barriers. Remove flower spikes after blooming to prevent unwanted seeding. Divide clumps every few years to control spread and maintain healthy growth. Plant 10 catmint Empeta. Catmint is the workhorse of the perennial border, producing clouds of blue-purple flowers from spring through fall with proper care. Plant in full sun to partial shade in well-draining soil. Poor soil is actually fine. Catmint thrives in tough conditions. Space them 18 to 24 inches apart. Here's the key to success. Immediately after planting, cut the plant back by half. This seems drastic, but it encourages strong root development and bushier growth. Water regularly for the first month, then reduce to weekly deep watering. Catmint is very drought-tolerant once established. For continuous blooms, cut plants back by 1/3 after each flowering cycle, usually 3 times per season. In late fall, cut plants back to 4 inches. They'll emerge vigorously in spring and often self-seed lightly, giving you new plants to share or transplant. Now let me share the essential steps for planting success with any of these border plants. First, soil preparation. Even in late summer, take time to improve your soil. Work in 2 to 3 inches of compost to a depth of 8 inches. Good soil drainage is critical. More plants die from wet feet than drought. Second, proper watering. This is where most people fail. Water deeply immediately after planting, then maintain consistent moisture for 4 to 6 weeks. Deep, infrequent watering encourages deep roots. Shallow, frequent watering creates weak surface roots. Third, mulching. Apply 2 to 3 inches of organic mulch around plants, keeping it 2 inches away from plant stems. Mulch conserves moisture, moderates soil temperature, and suppresses weeds. Fourth, timing. Plant on cloudy days or in evening to reduce transplant shock. Avoid planting during heat waves. Wait for cooler weather. Finally, be patient. These plants need time to establish. Don't expect full performance the first year. Most perennials follow the rule: first year sleep, second year creep, third year leap. Successful borders require seasonal maintenance, but it's simpler than you might think. Fall maintenance: after first frost, clean up annual plants and cut back perennials that have gone dormant. Leave ornamental grasses and plants with interesting seed heads for winter interest. Winter care: apply fresh mulch around tender plants. In harsh climates, protect marginally hardy plants with burlap screens or extra mulch. Spring maintenance: remove winter mulch gradually as soil warms. Cut back ornamental grasses and any perennials you left standing. Divide overcrowded perennials every 3 to 4 years. Summer care: maintain consistent watering during establishment periods. Deadhead spent blooms to encourage continued flowering. Apply balanced fertilizer monthly during growing season for best performance. Remember, established borders require less maintenance each year as plants mature and root systems develop. These 10 border plants will give you years of beauty with minimal maintenance once established. Remember, successful gardening isn't about perfection, it's about choosing the right plants for your conditions and giving them proper care during establishment. Start with 2 or 3 of these plants this season, then add more each year. Your border will evolve and improve with time, just like your gardening skills. The key is getting started. Choose your favorites from today's list, prepare your soil well, plant them correctly, and maintain consistent care for the first 2 months. Your garden border will reward you with beauty for years to come.